Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of the history of Wolverine. If you have not listened to the first part of this, I would suggest you do that beforehand, but if you have, we can just go straight into part 2. His investigation into his missing memories leading nowhere, Logan rejoined the X-Men just when Magneto unleashed an electromagnetic pulse across the Earth, killing thousands of innocent people. Xavier and the X-Men decided to infiltrate his space station in order to stop him once and for all. Unfortunately for the X-Men, the fight didn't go as planned, and as Magneto was about to kill his own son, Quicksilver, Wolverine intervened, slashing him with his claws and saving Pietro's life. Magneto fell to his knees and quickly retaliated, using his powers to tear the adamantium out of Wolverine's skeleton, causing extensive injuries which almost killed Wolverine. These injuries overloaded Wolverine's healing factor for a time, and Logan also discovered that the claws he believed were a result of the Weapon X program were in fact part of his actual bone structure due to his mutation. As a result of his injuries and the loss of his healing factor, Logan left the X-Men for a time. After he quit the X-Men, Wolverine traveled all around the world for a while, coming to terms with the loss of his adamantium and healing factor, and facing some of his greatest foes along the way, such as Lady Deathstrike, Bloodscream, and Cyber. Soon after, Logan encountered the mercenary known as Deadpool, and was almost killed during their fight. But fortunately, his healing factor finally returned stronger than ever to save him. Logan went after Deadpool, but Wade managed to run away, so Logan then decided to rejoin the X-Men. Back at the X-Mansion, Sabretooth, who was a prisoner of the X-Men at the time that Xavier was trying to reform, managed to escape from his cell, and as a result, Wolverine confronted him. After a severe beating, Sabretooth threatened to kill Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee. With this, Logan snapped and thrust one of his claws straight into Sabretooth's brain, almost killing him. Wolverine's victory against Sabretooth came at a price, however, as Logan could feel his feral nature slowly taking over him, and as a result, he decided to live in the woods for a while. Logan's descent into madness would worsen after Tyler Dayspring, also known as Genesis, tried to bond adamantium to his skeleton once again. But Logan rejected the adamantium in order to save the life of Sam Guthrie, further losing his humanity and regressing to a more feral physical and mental state. Logan stayed in this state for a while, but with the help of Elektra Natchios, Stick, and his friends, he was able to regain his sanity, and he slowly reverted back to his original physical appearance. Later, during a space adventure with the X-Men, Logan was subsequently kidnapped by the would-be conqueror Apocalypse and replaced by one of the Skrulls who infiltrated the X-Men. Logan was then forced to fight Sabretooth for the mantle of the Horseman, Death. Knowing that he might be able to resist Apocalypse's programming, and that Sabretooth would be a very dangerous villain with the support of Apocalypse, Logan fought and defeated his nemesis. As a result, Apocalypse succeeded where Genesis had failed, rebonding adamantium to Wolverine's skeleton. As a Horseman of Death, Wolverine completed several missions for Apocalypse and fought the Hulk. Meanwhile, the Skrull that replaced him tried to create a rift between the X-Men and their mentor, but was slain by the real Wolverine under Apocalypse's orders. After discovering that their teammate had been a Skrull, the X-Men found out that the real Wolverine was Apocalypse's horseman and decided to help him. Under the control of Apocalypse, Wolverine fought the X-Men ferociously in his death persona, but Psylocke, Archangel, Kitty Pryde, and Jubilee helped him break free from Apocalypse's control. Unfortunately, shortly after, Logan witnessed the death of his friend Colossus. who sacrificed his life in order to eradicate the legacy virus. After rejoining the X-Men, Logan started to have more and more flashbacks to his past and was soon confronted by a serial killer named Mr. X, the Immortal Mauvais, a new Weapon X program held by Malcolm Colcord, Ogun, and Sabretooth. Using Weapon X technology, Sabretooth was able to remove Wolverine's powers. Then he hired Omega Red and Lady Deathstrike, who almost killed Nightcrawler, Yukio, and the Hudsons, as well as kidnapped Amiko, while he was stealing the Logan files. The files were supposed to contain everything related to Logan's past before he was abducted for the Weapon X experiment. Along the way, Sabretooth betrayed Omega Red and Lady Deathstrike, almost killed Amiko, and revealed to Logan that the Logan files were a lie. The reason Logan couldn't remember his past was because of his own healing factor removing his most traumatic memories. After this revelation, Sabretooth killed Wolverine. Logan's soul went to the afterlife, where he was welcomed by the spirit of Rose O'Hara, who revealed several things from his long life, most notably how he coped with pain. But because of his missing memories, Logan didn't recognize her, and he thought she was Jean Grey. While almost ready to let go of the pains of life and make peace with himself in order to learn the truth about his origins, Wolverine was attacked by several deceased villains who wanted revenge. Logan decided that he didn't want to let go of the pain just yet, and decided to fight all of them one last time. As he was overwhelmed, someone intervened and helped him, his deceased friend Colossus. Happy to see his friend back, they both managed to defeat all the villains, but Logan's choice had a big consequence. His will to fight reignited his healing factor, and his soul returned to his body, but before leaving, Rose told him one last thing. I'm not Jean. Back in the land of the living, Logan made his way to the X-Mansion and discovered that Amiko was alive, saved by the Weapon X project, and Colcord to make up for what Creed did. But this near-death experience would have big consequences on Logan, leading him to have nightmares and an obsession with discovering the true identity of the dead red-headed woman. Not long after, Jean Grey and the Professor Xavier went to Paris and met a strange character named Phantom X, who revealed several truths about the Weapon X program, most notably that Weapon X meant Weapon 10 all along, and that the Weapon X program was just a part of the Weapon Plus program, which created several living weapons through the years. It was also revealed that the latest weapons were created in the World, a self-contained research facility built by Weapon Plus somewhere in rural England. After defeating Weapon 12, Jean Grey learned that Phantom X was also a Weapon Plus victim, or project, that his real codename was Weapon 13, and that he had also been created in the world. Shortly after, while rescuing Mutant Dust, Logan met Phantom X, who called him by his real name for the first time in years, James. Shortly after, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Phantom X infiltrated the world. There, Wolverine learned how he had been used in the Roanoke slaughter during the Weapon X experiment and other Weapon Plus secrets. It was later revealed that it was Sublime's plan all along to let Logan look at these files in order to unlock this memory about Roanoke and to bring him back to this place later on. After being confronted by the last product of the Weapon Plus program, Weapon 15, Logan detonated a bomb, blowing up the Weapon Plus station and Weapon 15 in the process. Logan survived and was rescued by Jean Grey, but after they returned to Earth, Jean was killed by Zorn, leaving the X-Men heartbroken and prompting Wolverine to behead Zorn to avenge her. Wolverine mourned Jean's loss and wasn't pleased with Cyclops and Emma Frost's new relationship, but he remained a valued member of the X-Men. serving on as many missions as he could while also indulging in the occasional solo mission. It was during this period that Logan discovered that his friend Colossus had been brought back to life by the alien warrior Ord. He also met Hisako Ichiki, aka Armor, and decided to train her. Sometime later, Wolverine received a strange letter from Sarah Kinney, telling him that a young female clone of him named Laura and codenamed X-23 was created and used to commit several assassinations around the world. Shortly after, X-23 tracked Logan to the X-Mansion. Logan detected her scent and led her to a quiet place where they wouldn't be disturbed. Logan tried to reason with Laura, but Laura attacked him and almost killed him. But before she could deal a fatal blow, Logan used the opportunity to calm her down, breaking through Laura's conditioning in order to help her. After talking to her and telling her that he would help her, Logan and Laura were attacked by S.H.I.E.L.D. and Captain America, who were here to arrest Laura for her crimes, and despite Logan's intervention, Laura was finally captured. Captain America, with the help of Daredevil, discovered that Laura wasn't in control of her actions, so he decided to let her go. He told her to go find Logan and the X-Men, but unfortunately, Laura didn't listen to Steve's advice and decided to disappear for a while. Sometime later, Wolverine and the X-Men were investigating several murder cases committed in New York. After examining the dead bodies, Logan and Aurora discovered several slashes similar to those left by Logan's adamantium claws. Their investigation led them to a super being-themed nightclub called the Wannabes. In here, Logan caught Laura's scent, and when he tried to talk to her, she stabbed him in the chest and cut his face with her foot claw. Not giving up on her though, the X-Men tracked her, and Logan finally confronted her alone. Laura attacked Logan again, but this time he easily subdued her. After clearing the misunderstanding, she helped the X-Men and Logan brought her to the Xavier Institute. Although Logan made a deal with Laura and decided to hide the fact that he knew her origin in order to protect her. While here, Laura acted protective of Logan, following him everywhere, and even attacking Bishop while he was sparring with him during a training session. Not long after, Laura decided to leave the X-Men, but Logan called her his sister and convinced her to come back to the mansion in order to work with both the New Mutant Squad and the Hellion Squad, despite Emma Frost's protests. Sometime later, a young boy named Rikuto was kidnapped, and in order to deal with the kidnapper, the parents of the boy Ichiro, who was Maruko's cousin, and Fukuko asked for Wolverine's help. It turned out the kidnapping was a setup, and Wolverine was ambushed by the Hand and killed by Gorgon, who told him that they had already killed Rikuto. The Hand resurrected Wolverine, and Hydra used their technology to transform him into a killing machine that they unleashed aboard a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. Now brainwashed by Hydra and equipped with several teleporting devices, Logan was able to face against several other heroes such as Elektra, the Fantastic Four, the Hornet, and Daredevil, succeeding in completing his mission every time. Although the fight with Daredevil proved to be decisive, Daredevil managed to impale Wolverine on a sword, creating intense pain, which allowed Logan to break through Hydra's mind control long enough to warn Matt that Hydra was planning to kill the President of the United States and that their fight was just a diversion, allowing the Hand and Hydra to kill and resurrect Elektra as one of their own, before he was teleported away by Hydra. With this new information, the X-Men and the Avengers were able to defeat Wolverine and take him into custody. Back in the hands of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury tasked a team of scientists with removing Logan's brainwashing and returning him back to his older self in order to use him against Hydra and the Hand. Once done, Logan started his quest of revenge and teamed up with Elektra to take down Hydra and the Hand. In the end, Logan faced the man who killed him, Gorgon, and was able to defeat him. After defeating Gorgon, Logan disappeared for months, searching for Rikuto's body. After finally finding where the body was buried, he told his parents the location, saying he was sorry for everything. While on a mission in the Savage Land, Wolverine met the recently reformed Avengers and eventually accepted membership as Tony Stark felt that Logan could prove a useful perspective to the team. As a result of the House of M, during which Scarlet Witch altered Earth's reality and then restored it, Wolverine regained all of his memories due to Wanda attempting to give all the heroes what they most desired, allowing Logan to finally be able to sort between what was true and implanted in his mind. Logan then went to see the immortal blacksmith Muramasa and claimed the weapon forged with the piece of his soul just after Itsu's death. The Muramasa blade now in his possession, Logan was ready to start his quest for revenge. With Emma Frost's help, Logan soon discovered that Daken, his son, was alive and was hating him. After meeting his son, Logan tried to save him several times, but Daken refused his help, betraying Logan and attempting to kill him several times. Even after learning the truth about how Romulus was responsible for everything that happened to him and Logan. After Daken stole the Wolverine codename and joined Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers, he was able to steal a piece of the Muramasa blade, and with the help of both Romulus and the Tinkerer, 2 of his claws were bonded with the metal of the blade. After learning that Daken secretly wanted to kill Romulus just to take his place at the head of his empire, Logan understood that his son was beyond salvation, so he decided to resume his quest of vengeance against Romulus. In the end, Logan was able to defeat Romulus and with the help of Cloak, trapping Romulus in the Dark Force dimension, and then defeated Daken and removed his Muramasa claws. Once done, Logan hid both Daken's claws and the broken Muramasa blade in an unmarked grave near the Howard estate, putting an end to Romulus's empire and legacy once and for all. Romulus later escaped with Sabretooth's help, but Logan was able to defeat him once again and was imprisoned at the raft. But after all these revelations about his past, his son's betrayal, and seeing him join Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers by stealing his codename, Logan started to show signs of a nervous breakdown, as pointed out by Yukio and Spider-Man. Shortly after, Cyclops decided to assemble a new X-Force consisting of Wolverine as a team leader, Warpath, Wolvesbane, and X-23 in order to take care of the dirty business the rest of the X-Men wouldn't normally do, including murder. Cyclops decided to add X-23 to the team without consulting Logan first, which angered him since he was trying to have Laura be more than a killing machine. But despite Logan's protests, Laura joined the team. The team completed several missions and welcomed new members along the way, such as Elixir, Domino, and the Vanisher. Shortly after, the team was sent to the future by Cyclops in order to locate and help Cable and Hope against Bishop and Strife. Once in the future, the team managed to defeat Strife and protect Hope, but Bishop ran away. Back in the present, X-23 managed to save Boom Boom and kill the Leper Queen, but she was captured and taken to the facility and tortured by Adam Harkins and Kimura. Thanks to the help of Agent Morales, Wolverine and the team managed to locate Laura and rescue her. After this event, Wolverine told Cyclops that Laura was out of the team from now on. Cyclops agreed, but first he had one more mission for X-Force. During the events of Second Coming, Cable and Hope finally came back to the present. Wolverine and his X-Force team had to help them against the Purifiers and the Human Council. Unfortunately, after X-23 killed a prisoner in front of the X-Men, the news about X-Force broke out and a rift developed between Wolverine and several members of the X-Men, most notably his best friend Nightcrawler. Before Logan could explain himself to his best friend, Kurt was killed by Bastion while trying to protect Hope, and shortly after, Bastion unleashed an army of Sentinels from the future, which forced X-Force and Cable to go to said future in order to stop the source, Nimrod. Once Nimrod was stopped, Cable sacrificed his life to make sure the team could come back to the present. After all the members of the Human Council were killed, Bastion tried to kill Hope, but he was finally defeated. In the aftermath of the battle, the death of Nightcrawler had a profound effect on Logan, and news of his X-Force team broke his friendship with Aurora. True to his words, Logan removed Laura from the team and told her it was time for her to find her own mission in life and to be more than just a weapon. Cyclops then ordered Wolverine to disband his X-Force team, but Logan believed that the team was still necessary, so he formed a new X-Force team in secret with Archangel, Cyclops, Phantom X, and Deadpool. I am sure that would go well. After the formation of the new X-Force team, Warren called for X-Force and revealed to Logan that he hired Deadpool in order to investigate the activities of Clan Akaba, and that Wade had discovered that Apocalypse was going to be reborn in a new body. Logan agreed to help Warren, and X-Force went after Apocalypse and Clan Akaba. Unknown to the team, Clan Akaba resurrected Apocalypse as a child and was indoctrinating him into resuming his old duties. The young Apocalypse was protected by a new group of horsemen, but X-Force was able to defeat them, and they discovered that the new Apocalypse was only a child. After this discovery, the team decided to not kill him, and Logan proposed to bring the boy back, rehabilitate him, and train him, but Phantom X, acting on his own, immediately shot the young Apocalypse in the head, which created a rift in the team. After this event, Angel lost control of his Archangel personality and went on a killing spree. Trying to remove Apocalypse's influence from him, X-Force traveled to the Age of Apocalypse universe, thanks to Dark Beast, to find the Life Seed, the only thing that could save their friend's life. There, Wolverine met the Jean Grey of that universe, his alternate daughter, and an evil version of himself. When X-Force returned to their universe, they were attacked by Archangel and the Dark Beast, who took the Life Seed in order to restart evolution. After a heavy battle between the forces of Archangel and X-Force, Psylocke was able to stab Archangel with a different Life Seed, killing his alter ego and saving Earth from the Age of Archangel. During what seemed to be a routine robbery, Spider-Man and Wolverine were thrown back in time by magical diamonds to the time of the dinosaurs. Sounds a little bit more lighthearted than some previous stuff here. While Spider-Man secluded himself, Logan befriended a tribe of early humanoids. His involvement with them allowed them to survive the KT extinction event. When the meteor came, Spidey and Logan found themselves flung into the future, where the extinction of humanity allowed the tribe to dominate the world. But in the future, the world was menaced by Doom the Living Planet, and only one thing could defeat him: the Phoenix Gun. This gun could fire one Phoenix bullet containing the power of the Phoenix Force, capable of destroying anything at the price of the life of the one who fired it. Despite Spider-Man's protests, Wolverine used the Phoenix Gun to destroy Doom, and as such, he died in the process. However, Spider-Man resurrected him with a cosmic cube, much to Logan's dismay. The duo was then assaulted by the pair of Tsar and Big Murder, who sent them through time once again using the diamonds. Logan wound up in a wrestling ring facing down Peter Parker. He realized that this was before the death of Peter's Uncle Ben. Meanwhile, Spider-Man found himself in a frozen wilderness as a feral Logan was hunted by Dog. They were then transported to Mojo World. Mojo had been using Tsar and Big Murder to arrange the entire list of shenanigans. Wolverine became overcome with an uncontrollable anger. However, he did not enter a berserker rage, but instead something far worse. After previously using the Phoenix gun and being resurrected by Spider-Man, the Phoenix Force had stayed within him, and as time passed, it grew until Wolverine became the new Dark Phoenix. Fortunately, Spider-Man was able to calm him down, and after Logan told the Phoenix Force to go away, the Phoenix Force seemed to leave him. The duo was then sent back to the American Midwest in the time of the Cowboys. Peter fell in love with a woman named Sarah Bailey, who had also been transported through time by the diamonds, while Logan became the chief of a Native American tribe. Any diamonds they found appeared to be inert. The Time Variance Authority found them and set the duo and Sarah back into their proper point in the timeline with their memories intact, except for Sarah, who didn't retain any memory of this adventure, leaving Spider-Man heartbroken. Seriously, not even Spider-Man can catch a break. After the adventure with Spider-Man, Logan visited John Wraith, who was now a pastor. A few weeks later, a child was found dead with 3 claw marks. Wraith found Logan, but he was attacked by him and discovered that his friend's body had been possessed by a demon. This Wolverine was going on a rampage against people Logan cared about, and Wraith was one of his targets. After stabbing Wraith and covering his body with insects, he burned Wraith's church with the congregation still inside before moving to its next target. Meanwhile, Wolverine's soul was sent to Hell by the Red Right Hand with the help of Mystique to be tortured. In Hell, Logan met Satan and was forced to battle several of his deceased foes, most notably what appeared to be Sabretooth. Meanwhile, Wolverine continued traveling and trying to kill the people Logan cared about, such as Amiko, Yukio, and X-23, while the Red Right Hand's army killed the Silver Samurai and tried to kill Maverick. At the same time, the Mongrels also confronted Tiger Tiger and destroyed everything dear to Logan in Madripoor. They then tried to kill Logan's girlfriend Melita, who was saved by Mystique. Melita discovered that Mystique betrayed the Red Right Hand after she learned what the criminal organization intended to do to Logan if he escaped from Hell. So the duo teamed up with Ghost Rider and Damon Hellstrom to recover Logan's soul. In Hell, Logan discovered that the Silver Samurai had been killed by the Red Right Hand, and that the organization was after everybody Logan cared about. Logan also discovered that Mariko had been condemned to Hell because of her past actions as the head of the Yashida family. Mariko was then forced by Satan to torture Logan in order to break his spirit, while Wolverine managed to get past the X-Men's defense and infiltrated Utopia in order to burn Logan's belongings and kill Kitty Pryde. But he was soon confronted by Colossus. Back in Hell, after being tortured by Mariko, Logan was crucified on a cross by Satan and met his old friend Puck, a member of the Alpha Flight, who told him to not give up and to keep fighting as all the demons of Hell were watching him. After hearing those words, Logan was able to free himself and started to fight several demons, then Satan himself. On Utopia, Colossus, alongside Kitty, Iceman, and Angel, tried to fight Wolverine, but they were overwhelmed by the demon's power. As Colossus was about to be killed, Melita, Mystique, the Ghost Rider, and Hellstrom captured Wolverine, took him to a church, and began the ritual to bring Logan's soul back to his body. In Hell, Logan was able to make Satan bleed, creating a riot in Hell, and allowing him to crucify the devil with his broken bone claws. He then met Thomas Logan, his biological father, who told him he was proud of him. Logan fought Sabretooth once again and defeated him. He then recovered Satan's sword, Soul Cutter, making him the new king of Hell. With the sword in his possession, Logan was approached once again by Thomas Logan, and quickly understood that his father had been lying all along. He only wanted to use him in order to rule Hell. Logan then decided to throw the sword to the demons, and he punched Thomas Logan in the face, and together, Logan and Puck decided to escape from hell. During their ascent, Logan tried to free Mariko, but she refused, saying that there was nothing left for her on Earth. She then bid him farewell and told him to remember her as she was before her death, and not how he saw her in hell. Logan and Puck continued upward, but along the way Puck fell, telling Logan to keep going. Thanks to his actions and the Hellstrom's ritual, Logan managed to escape from hell while Puck recovered the Soul Cutter sword, making him the new king of hell. But the demons were still present inside his mind, and as a result, his body was still under the control of Wolverine. Wolverine almost killed Magneto, Cyclops, Namor, and the rest of the X-Men, while Logan was still trying to fight against the demons inside his mind. It took the help of his own memories, Melita, the X-Men, a subconscious projection of Nightcrawler, and what appeared to be a vivid memory of Jean as the White Phoenix, telling him to forget revenge and live to burn the demons from his mind completely. Finally free, Logan didn't listen to what Kurt and Jean told him, and planned to get revenge on Mystique and the Red Right Hand for sending him to hell. Wolverine quickly found Mystique, who tried to talk Logan down in order to explain to him what the Right Red Hand had planned for him, out of respect for his friendship with her son Kurt. Having enough of her lies, she told him in the past and her part in sending him to hell. He decided to kill her. During their fight, the duo was confronted by Lord Deathstrike, who had been hired by the Red Right Hand to kill Mystique in case she might reveal the next phase of their plan. However, Lord Deathstrike was defeated by both Mystique and Wolverine and escaped. Maverick called Logan to tell him that he found the location of the Red Right Hand's base, and Wolverine then resumed his fight with Mystique and killed her. He then headed to the Red Right Hand's base, but unbeknown to him, Mystique's body was recovered shortly after and sold at an auction to the Hand, resulting in her resurrection sometime later. Wolverine invaded the Red Right Hand's base, where he was confronted by the mongrels. Despite what they did to his friends, he gave each one of them a chance to surrender peacefully, but the mongrels attacked him on sight and tried to kill him. As a result, Logan killed most of them, while the others killed themselves. After defeating the leader of the mongrels, Gunhawk, Logan confronted the members of the Red Right Hand, finding that they had already killed themselves, leaving Wolverine with only a message. The mongrels were his children. This revelation, and the fact that he killed his own children, devastated Logan. After burying the bodies of his children, Logan tried to kill himself and abandoned civilization for what he did. Soon after, Logan was living with a pack of wolves and rescued several children who had been kidnapped and forced to fight wolves by several criminals. Logan reunited them with their families. He was then confronted by Melita, who brought several of his closest friends with her to convince him to come back to them. Logan agreed and said it was time to go back to work. Unknown to Logan during this tragedy, Darken worked with the Red Right Hand for years, helping them with their plans to send Wolverine's soul to hell. But more importantly, he was the one who found and gathered all of Logan's children. He then gave them to the Red Right Hand and convinced the criminal organization to use them against Logan. Darken's goal was to make sure that his father would kill his own children in order to hurt him in the worst way possible. Later on, after he buried his children, Wolverine had a vision showing him how Darken had been involved in the Red Right Hand's horrific plot. Back with the X-Men, Logan witnessed the return of Quentin Quire, also known as Kid Omega, an Omega-level psychic who set off a new wave of anti-mutant sentiment. As a result of Quire's actions, Wolverine and Cyclops steadily grew divided about how to handle this situation. Wolverine wished to hand Quire over to Captain America, while Cyclops wished to deal with him within the mutant community. When a new Hellfire Club attacked and incapacitated the X-Men at the opening of a mutant history museum, Oya, whom Wolverine had taken a liking to, was the last one standing. As Logan tried to convince Idie to stay hidden, Cyclops pressured her to act, leading to Idie killing a dozen men. Logan was enraged and blamed Cyclops. After what happened with the Red Right Hand and the Mongrels, all the revelations about his past, and the recent incident with Idie, Logan started to disagree with Cyclops about raising and training the teenage mutants as soldiers, since it was only going to get them killed. After demolishing a Sentinel that was sent to destroy Utopia, Wolverine and a number of X-Men quit the team and left with a number of the teenage mutants to return to their former home in New York, to make it clear that Cyclops has clearly crossed the line with his actions. In order to start the new Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, as it was called, Logan needed to retrieve all the fortune that he had amassed over the years, but unfortunately his money had been stolen. With the help of Gorilla Man, Master Po, Yuan Yi, and Fat Cobra, Logan managed to retrieve his money and was able to open his school. On its first day, the school was assaulted by the new Hellfire Club, who had been a major force in causing the schism of the X-Men. Wolverine made it clear that he didn't want to lose any of the kids, and fought as hard as he could against several Frankenstein monsters, whom Iceman defeated by making ice clones of himself. Next, the Hellfire Club sent a spawn of the original Krakoa to destroy the school. Kid Omega, who wanted to prove himself to Brew, Idie, and Kid Gladiator, who told him they never heard of him, reasoned with Krakoa, who then joined Wolverine's X-Men. Wolverine, along with the school's staff and students, then confronted the Hellfire Club, and he made clear to them to stay away from his school. As the Hellfire Club members were leaving, Krakoa almost attacked them, but Logan stopped him, as he had a better idea on how to deal with them. The next day, Matt Murdock told Cade Kilgore that he was being sued by Wolverine for the sum of $879 million for the damages he had done to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, and if he didn't pay, Wolverine and the school would take control of his company. As the school was being rebuilt, Logan was informed that Krakoa was glad they allowed him to stay, and Logan found it good to have a school ground that could fight back. The school faced several challenges in the following months, such as the Frankenstein monster menace and the murder circus, the war between the Avengers and the X-Men that cost the life of Charles Xavier, the return of Dog Logan, and a new rival school funded by Cade Kilgore, the Hellfire Academy. Along the way, Aurora Monroe joined the Jean Grey School as a teacher and began a relationship with Logan, and despite the departure of one of their teachers, the Jean Grey School prevailed, and in the end, several of their students graduated by the end of the year, and Logan succeeded in reforming Quentin Quire. Not long after Logan and the X-Men even witnessed the return of Nightcrawler to the land of the living, with Kurt joining the school afterwards. After the events of the Dark Angel saga, the resurrected Angel and the young Evan was sent to the Jean Grey School, and the Nightcrawler from the Age of Apocalypse universe decided to stay with the X-Force team in order to track the Iceman of his reality who fled to Earth 616, which is the mainstream Marvel universe that this whole history of Wolverine takes place in, and make him pay for his betrayal. Wolverine decided to use X-Force to make sure the students at his school stayed safe, but while the team was saving Phantom X from the Captain Britain Corps in the Otherworld, Darkin, the Shadow King, Sabretooth, the Skinless Man, Mystique, and the Blob from the Age of Apocalypse universe decided to form the new Brotherhood of Mutants. Darkin and Sabretooth abducted the young Evan, while the rest of the Brotherhood hired the White Sky criminal organization to create 3 clones of Omega Red, and to give them fake memories in order to use them against X-Force. The goal of Darkin and the Brotherhood was to torture Evan long enough for him to become the new Apocalypse, then to use the Shadow King to mess with his mind in order to force Evan to destroy the Jean Grey school, to kill all the students, to kill all of Logan's friends, and then blame X-Force for everything. Shortly after Phantom X was captured by Mystique, and then tortured and killed by the Skinless Man in front of Evan's eyes, and to make sure the X-Force team couldn't stop their plans, the Brotherhood hacked Automaton and used it to kill Gateway, and then detonated it to kill the X-Force team. Thanks to Psylocke, however, X-Force managed to survive and went to the future, where they met their older counterparts and discovered the truth about the Brotherhood's plans and what needed to be done. Back to the present, the team prepared themselves to attack the Brotherhood's stronghold to free Evan, while Darkin and Sabretooth were still torturing him, both mentally and physically, in order to have him unleash the power of Apocalypse. X-Force then faced the Brotherhood, but they were betrayed by Nightcrawler. As a result, Wolverine was captured and tortured by Darkin. The X-Force team managed to stop the rest of the Brotherhood, and to punish him for his betrayal, Nightcrawler was fatally wounded by Eva. Wolverine managed to escape and knew that he had to kill Darkin after what his older self revealed to him when he was in the future. That being, he'll kill the students if you let him live. To protect his students, Logan decided to kill his own son Darkin by drowning him in a puddle of water. After killing his son, Sabretooth appeared and revealed that all of what happened was his plan all along. That he wanted to hurt Logan in the worst way possible. An angry Evan almost killed Sabretooth as a result, but Logan told him to let him go. Revenge would only lead him to a path of destruction, just like what happened here. Shortly after, EVA managed to create 3 clones of Phantom X thanks to White Sky technology, but after those events the team was disbanded. Later on, after the war between the Avengers and the X-Men, Logan joined the Avengers Unity Division and dealt with the consequences of X-Force's actions, most notably with the children of Archangel, the Apocalypse twins who resurrected Darkin as one of their horsemen in order to torment Logan. But in the end, the Avengers prevailed and the twins were stopped once and for all. Shortly after, during a S.H.I.E.L.D. rescue mission, Wolverine was infected with a microverse virus that shut down his healing factor. Losing his healing factor proved to be a shock to Logan, but Nick Fury Jr. warned him that this sentient virus from the microverse that removed his healing factor was still present and was spreading all over the world. With the help of the host, Logan and S.H.I.E.L.D. were able to stop the spreading of this virus and eradicate it. But unfortunately, in the end, Logan was left without his healing factor. After dealing with Sabretooth and the Hand, Logan tried to find a way to reactivate his healing factor, so he went to see the smartest people of the Marvel Universe, such as Mr. Fantastic. But nothing could be done, and at the same time, he learned that there was a bounty on his head. After facing Nuke, Logan traveled to Madripoor and to Japan to learn more, and after meeting Lord Organ, he discovered that a new Weapon X project had been created. Logan headed to Nevada to put an end to it, and discovered that Abraham Cornelius was alive and was trying to recreate the original Weapon X experiment. The problem was that all of his subjects couldn't survive the adamantium bonding process since they didn't have any healing factor. That's why he put a bounty on Logan's head in order to capture him and use his healing factor. But after discovering that Logan didn't have any healing factor anymore, Cornelius ordered his latest experiment, Sharp, to get rid of him, but Logan defeated him. Cornelius then activated his machines on the test subjects in order to bond the adamantium to their bones. Seeing no other way, Logan unleashed his claws and saved them by slashing the batch of liquid adamantium before it was injected into them. But in doing so, the liquid adamantium covered his entire body in the process. Before the adamantium hardened, Logan made sure that the test subjects were safe, and then he went after Cornelius and killed him before falling on his knees in front of the sunset, looking back on his life and dying from suffocation. The X-Men were able to retrieve Logan's adamantium casing, and Kitty phased him out of it. He was then buried in Canada in a secret location. And there ends the story of the Wolverine. James Howlett, or most popularly known as Logan. He was a man who had gone through immeasurable pain and loss during the almost 200 years he was alive. But despite everything that he endured, everybody he lost, and everything he suffered through, he had made so many people's lives better despite that. He was a hero, through and through. And that is partly why Wolverine is actually one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. Anyway, that ends the final part of the history of Wolverine. It does end on quite a sad note, but it does explain a bit of why, a bit of what led to Logan, the movie, taking place and what had happened in it. It is quite sad, but it is a nice conclusion to his story. And I am aware that later on Wolverine does come back, but I'm mostly counting these history stories as basically ending after the second Secret Wars. Mostly because I feel like that makes for a nice conclusion to the overall Marvel universe. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next week, and I'll see you guys next week. Until then,
Have a good one.